Did you know that you could simulate robotics from Onshape right in your browser? I'll show you how to take a 3D model of a robot from Onshape and simulate it to do robotic tasks. By the end, you'll have your own smart factory simulation. To follow along, just create a free Onshape account and open up the link in the description of this video. That link will bring you to this 3D model in Onshape. Click this blue button in order to make a copy to edit. When this window comes up, copy your document somewhere where you can access it. Next, we're going to come to this website, prototwin.com. We're going to click over here where it says sign in, and we're going to click here on this button. Once we sign in, we're going to have these two options. So we're going to select launch simulate, and it's going to bring us to this window. We're going to come over here to this import button, and under the Onshape tab, we're going to click on Prototwin robotic pick and stack - copy. We're going to download the main. We'll click the import button, and that's going to bring our assembly into the view window. With our model successfully imported, we can rotate around by holding down the right mouse button, and our goal is to allow these objects here to move along this conveyor belt, and for this robot to pick up those objects and place them on this second conveyor belt. We'll start by clicking on this object. Now we want to add a property to it. I'm going to click on component and I'm going to click physics. And now we've added physics to this object. Let's see what happens when we click the play button here on the top right. You're going to see that object fall to the floor. It falls to the floor because it's now affected by gravity ever since I added that physics component. Let's do the same thing for the conveyor belt. I'll add a component, physics, and we'll also have it as dynamic. Now both of them will fall to the floor, but we don't want it to fall to the floor. So I'm going to select it again, and instead of dynamic, I'll make it kinematic. I'll also do this for the two side rails. Now when we hit play, the object stays in place. What would happen if I were to drag this object around? You'll see that it's held up now by the belt. We can see this in a different way. If I go here to the physics mesh, you can actually see how this conveyor belt is kinematic and the object is dynamic. And as we move it, it's interacting with the belt. Now it's time to make this body an actual conveyor belt. Always make sure to reset your model on the top right, and with it highlighted, we're going to come to add a component, and we're going to click on transport surface. For the surface, we're going to select this and then the top face. And you can see that this arrow is pointing the wrong way. So we're going to right click, and that's going to rotate it 180 degrees. We're going to click down. And now for the motor, we're going to click again, and that's automatically going to assume the motor for the belt. And now when I hit the play button, you're going to see that it moves along the conveyor. If I reset again, we're going to spin around and look at this little sensor here at the end. We don't want the object to be stopped by this dowel. We want it to be stopped by the sensor. So I'm going to click on the sensor, add a component, and this time we're going to look for distance sensor. In the selector for the distance sensor, we'll click here, and then we'll come over to the center of the block, but we're having a hard time selecting it. Let's come over here to the left side and double click on this symbol. Now we can more easily select the center of the sensor. We'll come over here to direction. I'm going to double click again on the symbol, and we're going to click here, and we're going to have it point out. For the range, we're going to type in 0.2. Now it's time to program the robotic arm. The robotic arm is made up of links. We can see the links in the menu. If I click on link 1, we're going to come over here and make sure that dynamic and none are selected. Collider is none because this robotic arm is not colliding with anything. We'll click this button to create a joint, but instead of prismatic, we're going to change it to revolute. I'm going to click this button to select an axis, and if I hover over, I'm going to select this upward arrow. Then I'll click on the anchor point, come over here, and select that center point. Let's click this plus sign, and it will automatically create a motor. For the control, we're going to type in speed 180, and we're going to type in 720 for the acceleration and 720 for the deceleration. We're going to do something similar for the rest of the links. I'm going to select link 2. I'm going to add a component, make it physics, and we're going to select none again for the collider. Then I'll come down to joints, and instead of prismatic, we're going to make it a revolute joint. And for the axis, I will select this axis right here. And then for the anchor, I will select this point. We'll click on motor. That'll automatically create a motor. Under the control settings, we'll type in a speed of 180 and the same values for acceleration and deceleration. Now, the only difference with this joint is that the base of this joint, if we click here where it says base, we're going to make it link 1. I'll do the same thing with this next joint. I'll select physics, I'll take away the collider, I'll add a joint, I'll make it revolute, I'll select the axis that I want as well as the anchor point, and I'll automatically select a motor. And then for the control, I'll change the speed again to 180, 720, and 720. We'll make sure that where it says base, we select link 2, as this was the previous base. I will do this process for the rest of the links, always making sure to select the previous link as the base. Now we'll add a way to control this robot. I'm going to come over here to where it says robot 1, and I'm going to add a component. We're going to scroll down to robot controller. Now we're going to click on this suction cup, and we're going to come to add component. We're going to scroll down, and we're going to click on robot TCP. Tool center point. For the position, we're going to click on this point here, and we're going to select this center point. If we go back to the menu, we can click on robot, and for TCP in this window, we're going to click on it, and we're going to select what we just chose, suction cup. So I'm going to click on it. You may have noticed these little red points that are all over the assembly model. If I click on them, we can see them come up in the left window. We're going to use these points to direct the location of the robot end effector. With the robot fully selected, we're going to come over here to program and click on add program. And we're going to click here to create a new instruction. And then this window is going to pop up. I'm going to click where it says empty, and I'm going to select joint move. And then for the target, I'm going to select TP pick approach. With this selected, we'll just close the window, and when I hit play, we'll see that the robot moves into position to pick up the object. Now we want our robot to interact with the sensor that we had previously set up. I'm going to click on robot 1, and I'm going to come over here under robot controller, just click on these 3 dots and click on IO. And we're going to add a new sensor. And now we can select that sensor. I could also click here on this plus sign. And for entity, we're going to click on sensor glass. And for component, distance sensor. And the property is distance. So we have everything set up here. Now I can close this. We can open up our programs. I'm going to add another program. This program is going to be a wait signal. And the signal, we're going to choose sensor, and the value is going to be when it's on, because when the sensor, when something blocks it, that's when it's going to know to do the instruction. So we're going to close this. So now we have 2 commands. We have a move command, and then we have an await signal. So basically the robot is going to move into place. It's going to wait on a signal, but there's a third thing that we wanted to do. So I'm going to add a third program. And this third program is going to be a linear move. And the target is going to be a TP pick. We now have 3 programs. And let's see what happens when we hit play. So as you could see, it's moving into position, it's awaiting the signal, and then it goes to pick it up. But the end effector is not really set up to actually pick up the object. So we're going to have to add that program next. We can add that grip ability to the end effector by selecting it, coming over to component, and this time we're going to add a suction gripper to the end. For the position, we're going to select this point at the bottom. And for the direction, we're also going to select that point, and you could see it's going to face downward. Now you can always right-click to move the arrow up and down. With that selected, we're going to make the range 0.005. Now let's come over to our robot program. I'm going to select it, and we're going to come over here to I/O. And when I click on it, we're going to add a new variable. And this is going to be called gripper, but instead of an input, it's going to be an output this time. We will also add it as a connection. So I'll click the plus sign. The entity will be the suction cup. The component is going to be the suction gripper, and the property is going to be the state. Now let's close out of the I/O menu, and I'm going to come over here and click on Add Instruction. For the type, I'm going to select Set Signal, and for the signal, I'm going to choose the gripper. This is going to be the instruction to actually pick up the object. So we'll close out of here, and let's see what happens when we actually play it. You'll see that the robot moves into position and picks up the object. We now want our robot to move to this position. So we're going to create yet another instruction, and this one is going to be joint move, and the target is going to be TP drop approach. And for the solution, it's going to automatically come up with solutions. So we can see here, as we go through these are all the different ways that the software has solved the problem. But we could just go ahead and select the first one. And we can just close that. Here's where we are so far. The robot is picking up the object, but it's not placing it on a second conveyor belt. We're going to have to add a drop command next. So this time we'll add an instruction, and this is going to be a linear move. And for the target, we're going to select TP drop. So we'll find it from the drop down. TP drop 1 is this bottom point here. So we'll select it. At this point, the robot is successfully picking up the object, moving it, but it's pulling it back to the first point instead of dropping it on the second conveyor. So I'm going to reset, and I'm going to add another instruction, this time for set signal, and I'm going to select gripper for the signal, and instead of holding on, we're going to click on value so that it drops the object. So we'll close this, and we're going to try that again. It'll pick up the object, move it, and it's going to successfully place it on the second belt, but it fell to the ground. So we're going to have to do what we did in the beginning. We're going to select the belt. We're going to add a component for physics and make it kinematic. We'll do that for the rails as well. Add a component, physics, make it kinematic. Okay, and we'll see if it stays on the belt this time. And it successfully moved it to the second belt. We're going to add another component, and it's going to be a transport surface, just as we did last time. I'll hover over the belt, and if I didn't mention this last time, you can right-click to rotate that arrow forward or backwards. We're going to leave it in this orientation. And for the motor, it's just going to be it's automatically going to select the motor belt for the motor. And here's our final result. Let me know if you'd like to see more tutorials like this one in the future. Thanks for watching.